Hello, welcome to Hereford Sixth Form College Business Studies Department. My name's Stephen Finch, I'm the Head of Business Studies here at Hereford, and this is a short introductory presentation to give you a brief overview of the A-Level Business course. The course is of 2 years duration. There isn't an option to run it over 1 year, and at the end of the 2 years you are assessed by completing 3 2-hour exams. There are a variety of skills tested, so anything from 1-mark multi-choice questions up to 25-mark essays. And as we go through the course, we relate as much as possible all the theory to what's happening in the world at the time. An overview of the course structure in Year 1 is that we study 6 units. The first unit is an introduction to business, so we look at such things as organisational structure, how businesses start up, basic financial terms such as revenue, cost, profit. And then we move on to Unit 2, which is where we look at leadership and management. So there are various leadership models that we look at, various leadership styles, look at examples of businesses, and then relate that to how that influences the decision making made by leaders and managers, and therefore related to the whole company within that business. The third unit and the fourth and fifth and sixth are all related to what we call the functions of business: marketing, operations, finance, and human resources. So marketing includes such things as advertising, promotion, what we call the marketing mix, which is often referred to as the 4 Ps, and market research. We then follow that by looking at operations, and that's the way in which the business works. So look at things like productivity, capacity, whether companies use more labor intensive or mechanized procedures, stock control. Then we move on to finance. Finance includes such things as cash flow forecast, budgeting, looking at various statements and ratios to see how well the business is doing from the financial point of view. And then the final unit of the year is to do with human resources, used to be known as personnel, so it's to do with the people in the organization, what motivates them, looking at pay structures, looking at other non-financial motivators. So that's the first year, 6 units in total. In Year 2, it's very much building on Year 1 studies. So the overall idea of Year 2 is we do some recapping of Year 1 and then build on it in terms of looking more at the strategy of businesses. Now, strategy is more long-term decisions, whereas in Year 1 we're looking more at shorter-term decisions, tactics, looking at objectives, etc. So strategy is, again, we have some models to look at to see how well strategy fits in with the business. We look at things like internationalism, globalization. We look at what we call the PEST factors: political, economic, social, technological, these external factors that businesses have to take into account when deciding on their strategy. We call these situational analyses, and it's to look at what situation a business finds themselves in, and that will be from more of a global perspective than in Year 1. So often at open events we get asked some questions relevant to business, such as these. So how much maths is on the course? Well, according to the examining body, AQA, they say 10% of the marks is mathematically based. I would say it's a little bit more important than that, in that there are more marks available for doing something with the numbers. So data manipulation would lead to some analysis and evaluation, and they are the higher level skills that you need on the course. So getting the maths questions right is quite important to then being able to analyze what that's telling you about the performance of the business. The maths involved is not complicated maths. If you've got a basic grasp of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage change, and then interpretation of statistics and numbers and graphs, then you'll be fine. Other subjects combined with A-level business. We get asked this question a lot. It's pretty much anything. Business is quite a general subject, so we get students who are studying all sorts of other courses. If I was to pick a class of 20, you'll probably find between them there's at least 20 other courses. You know, students study 3, possibly 4 courses while they're at college. So we get students who are very much on the social science side, psychology, sociology, law, and they therefore have a lot of practice of essay type questions in their other subjects, which might help them in business. We have students who study maths, physics, so they're very good at the mathematical side and analysis. And we have students who study vocational courses such as sport, travel and tourism, criminology. So a vast range of students, and that means in the classroom students are coming from different perspectives, and it makes for an interesting mix of people with different interests and different perspectives. The structure of the exams. Now I mentioned on the first slide that there are a range of different skills tested. So we have 3 two-hour exams. They're worth 100 marks each. The first paper has multi-choice questions, 15 of those, some short answer questions, and 2 essays which are worth 25 marks each. Paper 2 has 3 data response scenarios, and you have questions based on each of those, so the paper is split into 3. And then the final paper has 1 very large case study, also with data, and it has a series of questions up to and including the biggest type of question, which are 24 marks each. So a variety of skills. You can get a high grade if you have strengths in some of those skills. You don't necessarily need strengths in all of those skills to get a high grade, because it evens itself out across the 3 exams. A question we often get asked is, can I study both economics and business, and what's the difference between the 2? Students do study both. There is some consideration of the fact that some universities, especially the Russell Group universities, are not too keen on taking students or giving offers to students who have both business and economics, and their preference would be for economics. There's no reason apart from that why you shouldn't study the both. There's a little bit of overlap, which is why some people might say that you might be narrowing your possibilities for the future if you pick business and economics together. But ultimately the choice is yours, as long as it fits in with your future plans and it doesn't restrict you too much. The difference is between the 2. If you speak to students who study both, they say economics has a bit more theoretical side to it. Obviously it's just looking at the economic side of influences on business, whereas business looks at a lot wider range of influences on business. What do students do after college if they study business? Well, again, it's a very wide subject. So there are hundreds and hundreds of business related degrees, some with a lot of business, some with very generalized business, some where you can specialize a bit more and look at things such as finance, marketing, accounting, human resources. Very wide range. You can study business as a single subject, a joint subject, a combined subject. You could combine it with a language. The possibilities are almost endless. And then if you're not interested in university, there are options for apprenticeships or advanced apprenticeships or employment. Again, because you've studied such a wide variety of different areas in business, you're well set up to become a good employee in the future. So thanks very much for watching and listening, and if there's anything else you'd like to know, please contact me. My email address is on the screen, and also you can ask me questions at the live virtual events that are taking place at the college this year.